Welcome back to Delving into the Cold. This is Dee. This is the fourth week of our quote-unquote Urban Legend Week. And I'm just going to get into it. I don't really have any announcements this week. So let's just kind of dive in. We're going to be talking about the Black-Eyed Children this week. And I was talking to one of my friends about it. And we were talking about how, the more modern urban legends are maybe not quite as creepy or as, good as the older urban legends, but this one is pretty creepy. And she kind of, she's like, yeah, no, that creeps me out. I don't even want to think about it. So if you know anything about internet lore, you know what the Black-Eyed Children are. They're kids that usually look from, anywhere from 6 years old to about 16. So younger kids. They mostly appear at night. And usually they show up at your home and request to come inside, for some reason. To use the phone, to use the bathroom, to get a drink of water. Whatever. And one thing that a lot of people have noticed about them is that their voices are pretty monotone. So it's kind of almost like they're robotic in a way, I guess. And they're usually pale. And some people have even reported that they laughed and it was like a really high-pitched, kind of creepy giggle. But most people just kind of report the monotone voice. And probably the most, I would say, famous Black-Eyed Children legend started out actually on an internet message board in 1998 by Brian Bethel. And he tells a story about how he was in a movie theater parking lot in 1996. And in Abilene, Texas, and he was approached by them. And he kind of tells his story from there. And you can find this story pretty much anywhere on the internet. It's, like I said, it's a pretty popular story when it comes to this legend. And he wrote this down in 1998, but he claimed that it happened in 1996. And then, we, from time to time, heard about the Black-Eyed Children on various places on the internet, but the story really, really, really blew up in 2013 because there was a supposed video of of Black-Eyed Children that went viral. And of course, naturally, as publication works, there was a movie that came out later that year about, you guessed it, Black-Eyed Children. So let's kind of talk about what most people accredit the origin of this legend to be. And it's kind of believed that it started in the 90s on internet message boards. Because you really don't hear, of stories older than that. Most people have heard more recent stories, or stories that, again, are attributed to the 90s. And that's because when internet message boards became a thing in, the early 90s, it changed the way that we could not only communicate, but the way that we could tell these stories. Because used to, if you wanted to send a chain letter, you sent it in the mail. Well, these message boards and email and even now Facebook and things of that sort, that's where you see chain letters now. And so this was one of those that was super popular. And it's one that has just continued over the last, 20 odd years to kind of pop up every now and then. So that's kind of where it's attributed to have began. And there's, I guess a couple of different theories about what they are. Some people say aliens, some people say demons or interdimensional beings. And of course, there's the theory that they're vampires because, again, you only see them at night. Now, there are a couple of common elements with the stories. It's always young kids, it's always at night, and most of the time, if you'll pay close attention to the, reportings, it's around the time of a storm. Either there's just been a storm, or there's going to be a storm, or it's during a storm. And don't really know why that is. Maybe it's because it sets kind of the atmosphere of the story. It's dark, and it's creepy, and it's thundering, and it's raining. But either way, that's kind of some common elements of them. Now let's talk about evidence as far as something that could concretely prove that black-eyed children exist. You don't have a lot of physical evidence. It's mostly stories. It's mostly people on the internet claiming that they've seen them. You do have videos, but those videos are shady at best, because if you've ever seen any of the videos, you know that they look photoshopped beyond belief. And, I mean, maybe some of these people genuinely think that they're seeing these things. I don't know. But, as far as, as physical evidence, there's just really not any. So my thoughts on this is, it's complete hoax. It was started on the internet in the 90s, and then somebody got an idea to make a movie out of it and, rehyped it. And I think that the people that think they are seeing them, I don't think that these people are crazy. Maybe they did actually see something. Maybe they saw children wearing those contacts that covers the entirety of your eye to make it look like they had black eyes. And I think that I've always said, and I used to do paranormal investigations a lot, and the one thing that always creeped me out on any investigation more than anything else was hearing or, finding evidence of a child spirit. I think there's just something inherently creepy about it. And so that kind of plays into a lot of people's fear. And that creates a hype because people, they get excited. Guess what I saw? And that hype, leads itself to further media coverage and things of that sort. So I don't believe in the black-eyed children. I'm not going to sit here and 100% tell you, oh no, they do not exist. Because I don't know, man. I've never seen them. I, haven't been looking for them either, I guess. But, I'm not going to sit here and tell you they don't exist. But I'm the type of person that I need, evidence that I can look at and be like, oh yeah, totes. It's real. And I don't have that. So, that's all I've got for you guys this week. It's going to be a short podcast. Usually the urban legend weeks are going to be pretty short, unless it's a really old legend, and I can get into, kind of the nitty-gritty of the story, like the, Bloody Mary. There was a lot of background info there. But as always, let me know what you think. Do you believe in this stuff? Do you think that it's just a bunch of, bull or what? Let me know. Alright guys, stay safe, stay curious, and I'll see you next time. Welcome back to Delving into the Cold. This is Dee. This is the 4th week of our quote-unquote urban legend week, and I'm just going to get into it. I don't really have any announcements this week. So let's just kind of dive in. We're going to be talking about the black-eyed children this week. And I was talking to one of my friends about it.